got up close and could start to make out the digital imperfections. Their parents had given Gareth the same watch, but he'd lost his long ago, left somewhere in the house they grew up in, on the planet they'd left behind. Dad says technology is the tool that allows us to overcome our limitations and sets us free, Leo reminded his brother. Except you're not free. I still caught you. Because your legs are twice as long as mine. An exaggeration. At one time it might have been true, but a couple of growth spurts since they'd come on board, and Leo was no longer the scrawny runt whose head fit underneath Gareth's armpit. Not so easy to boss around, though Gareth could still wrestle him to the ground and rip the watch from his wrist if he wanted. Not that he would. Leo knew Gareth would never hurt him. He just wanted to give Leo a hard time. That's what big brothers were for. That and pretty much everything else. Especially out here, on this ship, where Gareth was the only real friend he had. Besides, as long as they played nice, their father wouldn't interrupt to badger them about their studies. As important as it was to Calvin Fender that his two sons learn how to balance chemical equations or calculate the masses of nearby stars, it was more important that they got along, and chasing each other around the Beagle was always preferable to reading a chapter of galactic history. Leo's breathing finally evened out. He brushed the brown mop out of his eyes, his bangs hanging like curtains, in sore need of a trim. The Beagle didn't have a barber shop, just Leo's father, whose DIY haircuts often resulted in disaster. Cosmetology was one of the few things his father wasn't good at. You have to give me at least a 10-second head start, Leo said. And you have to count loud so I know when you go. Fine. 10 seconds. But seriously, no more cheating. If I catch you, you won't. Leo shot back with mock confidence. Right. Leo coiled, ready to sprint down the corridor as soon as his brother started counting. But Gareth never even made it to 1. The explosion nearly threw them off their feet as the Beagle lurched sideways. The steel beams shuddered. Leo's ears rang. The lights blinked off, on, then off again, triggering the fluorescent yellow emergency lighting that ran along the floor. Leo put a hand on the wall to steady himself. His brother's eyes shone like moons. What was that? The question was answered with a second explosion, the ship quaking again. Every alarm screamed at once. Leo stumbled, falling into his brother's ready arms. From down the corridor, he could hear the crew of the Beagle shouting to one another, though it was impossible to make out what they were saying. It was impossible to hear anything over the ship's wounded, bleeding, until the captain's voice echoed over the comms. Attention crew of the Beagle, we are under attack. Security personnel report to the bridge immediately. Engineering to the drive chamber. Leo looked up at his brother, still holding him tight. Did she just say we're under attack? Gareth nodded, then looked sideways, startled by the sound of boot heels clomping down the hall. Leo knew the sound. He'd learned to recognize the rhythm of his father's footfalls, like the sound of his brother's snoring or his mother's pensive sighs. Leo spied his father turning the corner, his eyes falling on him and Gareth, pressed together. Dr. Calvin Fender's face softened, then hardened again. He spoke in a whirlwind. What are you two doing out here? Didn't you hear what Captain Saito said? You need to hide. Hurry. Their father pointed to the nearest door, leading to an empty bunk room barely half the size of the one the Fenders shared. He hustled Gareth and Leo into a corner, his white lab coat flapping on both sides like broken wings. Leo could tell he was scared. He could see it in his father's eyes, even if he couldn't hear it in his voice. His father was seldom scared. Dr. Fender tipped over a metal desk, making a barrier, concealing the boys from anyone passing by the door. Stay right here. Do not move. Understand? What's going on? Leo asked. Are we really under attack? Is it pirates? Worse, their father said. Worse than pirates? The Djaric, Leo thought. And from the look on Gareth's face, he knew it too. They've knocked out our engines and navigation systems, Dr. Fender continued. Communications too. I believe they intend to board us. You mean they're coming on the ship? Leo felt it.